Hello! Today we're meeting Olga Murasev. She is a well-known face painter, instructor, and founder of the most advanced training system for face painters, the International Face Painting School. Before we start, please like, subscribe, and click the bell button to know when I post. I make a variety of time lapses, makeup tutorials, and product reviews. So if that's what you enjoy, this is the channel for you. Hello Olga, it's very nice to meet you today. Thank you very much for agreeing to meet and to chat with me.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a very big pleasure to have the opportunity to give you this little interview and again to speak to you, to have this wonderful chat with you.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Whatever you want.
Well, most people probably remember me by a different last name. Right now, I'm Olga Murasev, but it was Olga Murasev when I just started doing face painting. It was my last name from my previous marriage, so now forgotten. But now, since it's still, in the media, many people have remembered me with this last name. And when you Google, you can find lots of my images via both of my last names, both Olga Murasev, but also Olga Murasev. So right now, I am mostly a face painting instructor. I've started my journey just as a face painter, as a regular face painter, just like many of us in the industry. Just painting in the country where I grew up, that is Moldova, in the capital, Chisinau. It's a very small European country where nobody ever heard about face painting back then. And I was the first one in the country who has started this kind of craft to deliver to the community. And yeah, well, it just passioned me so much that it developed into my career. And right now I'm the founder of the International Face Painting School, where I teach students from all over the world. And mainly what I do now is teaching. So I'm still painting, but not that frequently, mostly instructing. This is the thing that I feel that comes closer to my heart, to instruct others, to help others also develop their skills, just like I could develop it by myself. Now with all this experience, bringing it to the people.
Where do you live now?
Right now, it's a little bit tricky because I'm living between two countries, between Moldova and Spain. I've lived all of my life in Moldova. And then we decided a couple of years back to move to Spain. I've lived here near Barcelona. It's a very small village, Costa del Maresme, near to Costa Brava. Many people know this touristic place, but we're a little bit more to the mountainside. So it's very quiet here, and you can hear the birds. You can see some cactus, greenery, all very quiet and nature. And I really loved it here, but due to different reasons, we had to go back to Moldova in last November. We've stayed there for 4 months. Then we came back here. We're here again for almost 4 months. And the next plan is to go to Moldova. And I don't know how long it's going to last. Maybe it's going to last for a year or longer. Or maybe it's going to happen that we're going to come back to Spain, or we're going to choose another country to go to. So right now, like I could say, we're the citizens of the world. We don't have a specific place where we live, because we're also digital nomads, right? Because we're not tied with any type of work that we do physically, presentially in a place where we live, because we have our computers. Me and my husband, who is also part of the school, he's running the business and technical side of the school. And so we're like digital nomads, living anywhere we want.
That's great. Yes. So you live with your husband and?
Yeah, and my little daughter, who is 5 years old. She just turned 5.
Time flies. I remember when she was just born.
Yes, it
and
flies.
You're in your own belly.
Yeah, yeah. It,
Okay. Tell us how your face painting started. Why face painting?
I have been always artistic. I liked to do things artistically, everything in my life. So it was present in my life since childhood. I just like to do things originally and more aesthetically pleasant. So I like to decorate things. I like to present food in a beautiful way. I still like to do it. And lots of things that I like to do aesthetically. And I started to draw when I was a child. My dad taught me how to do it. I really enjoy the process, but I never thought that it's gonna be my work. So when I was a child, I really dreamed of becoming a doctor, actually. So I went to medical university. I studied there for 6 years, and when I was at the fifth year, I was just so tired and exhausted of so much learning without any practical application of what I was doing, because it took a long time to just to study and study, and I wanted to do something that I could really do with my hands, because I'm a very practical person and I really like to do things with my hands. So I was looking for a little like a job to supply myself with some little, pocket money to just to have something extra for myself, not asking my parents all the time, could you just, give me a couple of dollars to go buy an ice cream? I just felt a little bit embarrassed by this because I was 24 by then. And yeah, I started researching what I could do. And back then there was no opportunity of for me without having any diploma or any other type of certification doing anything in medicine. I couldn't do anything. So I
Uh-huh.
thought maybe I could go and babysit kids because I really liked kids. Now I realize that it was a very bad idea because I'm not really actually a babysitter type of woman. I'm mostly into, I can interact with kids, I can play with them, I can um, paint with them, I can paint them and make them feel happy. But really working with kids and spending the whole day with them, it's a challenging thing. Now I realize that it was a bad idea. And then, all of a sudden, just my mom found it. She just was looking on the internet for some inspiration, what she could offer me to do. And she was just, hey, you should try this one. And Lisa Jo Young was the first one who I encountered. Back then, she was very popular. It
Mhm.
was almost, 11 years ago, 11, 12 years ago. And then I watched her channel and I said, wow, I can do it. I can do it. I can just certainly do it because it's something that I really enjoy doing. It's aesthetics, it's paints and brushes, things that I know how to work with. It's just a different medium. I just have to learn how to do it. So my mom was the sponsor to buy me the first kit, which was a Paradise 30 colors. That big case with
Oh,
30 little
mhm.
colors of 10 grams each, just to testers to see if I'd like the paints, and I had a whole range. So that's how it began. Then I started going to gigs, and it grew actually really fast. I was still a student at the university. I was doing the jobs, the gigs, and then when I reached the point when I had to go to the internship, I went to for 4 months to the internship. It was ENT, ear, nose, throat.
Mhm.
It's a surgical division. And when I saw that what's all the stuff about it, I just said, no, I don't want to work. There were many reasons about why I left it, but I said, no, I don't want to do it. So I went fully into face painting, and I started to teach, explain, because I really enjoyed explaining and teaching all of my life. I've
Mhm.
been always explaining things, teaching to all my colleagues at the university, at the school, everywhere where I went to. So then it expanded to face painting, and I started going to different tours all over the world and teaching to different students, private workshops, conventions. And then I met my husband, and he had experience with some digital business. And he said, hey, we should make a school, we should make a course about face painting. And initially, I had no idea what he meant. I thought that he wanted something like Faba TV or something like just, YouTube, just filming classes and doing it. And we started doing YouTube with him. But then, it's definitely totally different idea that he had on his mind, which I understood only after we really dived into the project, and I understood that it was something much more comprehensive than I imagined. So
That's great.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So who inspired you in your career, face painting career?
First, it was Lisa Jo Young. She was the one who definitely had a great impact on me because she showed me the basics. And then there were many artists that I followed, and there are still plenty of artists that I really adore, that there are styles and techniques there that I really admire, and in different artists that I take little pieces from everybody. So if to name just a few, I would say Christina Kerr Davison, she inspired me a lot on my animals. Mark Quid inspired me a lot on my tigers. Um, Baxter Anthony, she's not a face painter anymore. She's a tattoo artist, but back then she was a face painter. I really loved her butterflies. I remember I was inspired by her a lot. These were the people who inspired me at the very beginning, and then it expanded. So right now, I could say I really adore the art of Debs Mills. I really like her one stroke, and the flow that she creates is just amazing. Ronnie Mena, I really like the bold lines and the way he can create a design or just simply outlining it. So he can draw it well, but because the sponging is usually very, uh, no, abstract. It's not a clear shape usually, but when he starts outlining it all, it just catches life. Elodie, very similar to style to Ronnie Mana, but also with her own touch on Disney characters, on her unicorns, and the way she does the teardrops and outlining. I really love the way how simple yet cool her designs turned out. And also, I really love the artistic touches, like the watercolor styles. And I really like what you are doing, especially the latest designs with those eyes, those princesses. I just love them. And
Oh,
the way
this.
how you, yeah, it because I can see that it has been done easily and fast, but
Yeah.
it just looks so cool just because the anatomy is right, and when everything is so correct, anatomically correct, you can see that it's just mesmerizing. Look at it, you can look at
Thank
it
you.
forever.
Thanks. Um, what are the main things topic that you like to teach?
I
I know
really
you have
like,
the whole school and all different, like everything, but what
yeah.
you like, you feel like?
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely have things that I really like teaching mostly. And I think these kind of things, they come with experience, because when you teach a lot, you certainly find the area you dominated the best, and you like explaining it. So my best skill is in teaching balance, flow, understanding how the design is composed on the face, how it is placed on the face. That balanced composition thing is the thing that I really enjoy doing. I really enjoy explaining people the how the features of the face impact the design, how a design can impact the facial expressions, how it can change the mimics, how it can change the whole appearance of the face. Because if you want to create an illusion that the design is angry, and the face itself has an angry mood right now, you have to emphasize some of the features, and you have to work on the others with a different approach. Or if you want to create an elegant feminine design, you have to work on other stuff. You don't have to make the mean eyebrows. You have to, for instance, elongate the eyeliner, follow these eye
Yeah.
the line that this line that connects the side of the nose and the eye corner. You have to extend it. It comes from makeup also, because in makeup people usually use it. I don't do makeup myself much, but I've done some courses in the past, yeah, and I think it's just comes something natural to me. Just that those rules of balance and composition, it's something that I really, really think is the basic, because you can do a very intricate design, but if it's off, if it's not placed well, then it's gonna look bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, it's not like on its own place. Yeah.
yeah, and the opposite, you can do something super simple, but if it's in the right place and connecting with the right lines, with the right points on the face, then bam, it's gonna be a total success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. What are the main themes topics you like to paint yourself?
I really like characters. I think I really like the different types of emotions, and I really like to express them through my characters, make them cute, angry, and all sorts of different varieties of emotions that you can get. Also, I really love nature, animals, butterfly, birds. Really enjoy doing them also.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Not that much florals. Well, I do like them, but not a big fan. But I would say that characters and animals are the, and generally wildlife, I would say it's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
something that I really adore.
Is there any artwork that you identify most with? That is
Any
your like
artwork?
your work that
Mm-hmm.
you think that you're known for or you are really proud of?
um I know that one of, not one, but definitely the most famous artwork that I've done is the lion, the
I
full
would
face
say
that I
so,
painted on YouTube. Although don't think that it identifies with myself, because it's a really different type of artwork that I usually do. It's an illusion artwork, which I normally don't do, but it just happened to be a hit on YouTube. Most people who are watching it are from India and are men, so probably
Interesting.
there is, I don't know why. Maybe there is a tradition or something related to this, because I don't know really, but when we looked at the statistics, that's what it is. So it's not face painters. It's mostly, a totally different type of community.
Interesting.
But then, yeah, but I also saw many face painters who have reproduced this line artwork. So let's say that it was the one that became the signature, although there were other artworks that I've seen many people reproduce of mine. For instance, that little hummingbird on my cheek that I painted on myself, it comes here and has a couple of flowers here and there. I would say that this type of work characterizes me more, because it's very delicate, it's very simple technique, but with a little extra touch of a little bit of shading, highlights to make it look more realistic, although it's been done in simple and fast techniques, in one stroke and double dips. And I've seen quite many reproductions of these designs, so I would say that this one would work.
I think I even know what you're talking about, the design.
Yeah.
Where do you look for your ideas when you develop your design?
I really like Googling, actually. I usually, when I come up with an idea, this is what I also teach my students to do, is just use the search tools. Google is the first one, is the easiest one, but also you can use Pinterest, for instance, because it's gonna give you some different type of results. And what I do is I usually look for the word that I'm looking for, and I add the word art or clip art, posters sometimes, because it depends. If it's a character, it could be represented on a poster, for instance, and you could take some design ideas from there of the character itself, for instance, and the way how it incorporates in the posters. Usually it's connected with some type of additional elements that would create the whole image. Yeah, so I usually select a couple of these images, and then I create my own mashup, the thing that I really like how they are combined, and then I try to sketch, and then it goes on the face.
Have you been in any magazines, TVs, or large projects?
Yes, I have been, and it's been a while, to be honest. I do not really remember all of them. It's been in Q magazine, definitely. It's been in Illusion magazine. I have a channel on Faba TV also at the very beginning of my career when I went to Fabayak. It was the second year of my activity, so almost 10 years ago. Yeah, and I guess that's basically it. I cannot say that I've been so popular and so much published in the magazines. I don't think that was it was never my priority, I would say. It just happened. Okay, just tick a box. It happened, but
You just do what you like and it happens.
yeah. I just yeah.
Okay. Have you competed or won any competitions?
I have competed, yes, again, just for the purpose of my own experience. I have never had this spirit of a competitor. I know that there are people who are doing it like you yourself,
I
but
love
you
it.
really
I
like
I
doing
love
it.
the flair.
Yeah, it's definitely something that some people really enjoy doing. And to me, it's a little bit too much energy consuming.
It is.
And I personally prefer to put my energy in something else. For me, it's much more valuable to put this energy into something that would help others develop their skills. Like, for instance, if you ask me, what would you do? Would you go and compete, for instance, in Austria? Again, because I've been there and I didn't win anything, but even if I won, it's nothing that would make me happy. It's just, okay, I won. Or okay, I didn't. It doesn't really matter to me. But in comparison, if I would put this energy into developing my course and I would have known that this would help, for instance, a certain number of people to really expand their skills and really become the great face painters that they are proud of, I would certainly choose the second option. This thing is much more valuable to me. It's just, I cannot explain it why even that happens, but it's a certain type of endorphins or I don't know, dopamine that makes me feel so good when I see other people succeed with my help. So I really, really enjoy seeing this. So this is more valuable to me than competing.
Okay. So, well, obviously everybody would know answer to this question, but maybe you would like to add to it. Do you own your own brand or represent, support any brand? Well, you have your own brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the school, yeah. I'm mostly tied with the school, of course, as the um, digital learning brand, I'd say, and related to any other brands, physical brands like paints and brushes. I've been a member of Chameleon for a period of time, but then I left the team. And, to be honest, when I started the school, I just set it as my priority to avoid being biased by any type of brand or manufacturer, because I don't want people to get any opinion from me based on who am I sponsored by. Even though I like specific types of brands more than the others, it doesn't mean that other people would like them just the same as I do. So I decided that I'd be neutral, and I'm presenting fully honest information in my school just for that people can decide for themselves. There is a big range of great face paints. There is a big range of great brushes and all sorts of other products that I can recommend, and they are all in the course. And you just decide what works best for you, depending on the country again where you live. It's always a very personal decision, and it depends on so many factors. So yeah, not representing anything, and I don't think that I will ever represent anything yet so far, just because I just cannot cope with this feeling that if I become a representative, it's going to create an illusion that I'm recommending only this and the others are bad.
You can recommend certain brands, definitely.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
Do you run any Facebook groups, forums, or shops?
Yeah, we have our International Face Painting Open Group on Facebook, which is quite big, and it grows even bigger during our summits. Because these events are very large. They attract a big number of people, and especially new face painters. And we see a big growth in this group. I don't know how many members, by the way, are there, but I think we are almost at 10,000, should be very near. Also, we have the private group, of course, for the students, which is dedicated only to those who are taking the course. And we have more than 1,000 people there, because we already have over 1,000 students in the school. And yeah, so these are the two groups that we're running. We also have the newsletter clearly on our website. So we have a blog there. We have some guides, free guides there that people can enter and discover, and even downloadable versions. So we have them there.
What do you like about face painting world?
Oh, the best thing that I like, I think the first answer is going to be very average. Like every single face painter who came into this world was after, oh my God, I have seen the reaction of the kid when he looked in the mirror and said, wow, this is so amazing. And I just fell in love with the industry. It happened with almost every single face painter out there. I was between them. It's part of my experience too. So this is something that I really adore, because this is creating joy and making the world a beautiful, joyful place through the thing that we really adore doing. We are creating art. We're having fun, right? We are creating art on canvases that will never ever complain, because kids will never tell you, like critics, like adults, that no, I don't like this design, you have to change the colors, you have to change something. No, kids usually are very, very happy with, it's maybe 1% would say, no, I don't like it, you have to change it. But the biggest majority really adore the art that we're creating, even if we're doing it basically. So even if we're just starting out. And this is something, a very special type of emotion. I think this is what makes us, really attracted by this type of craft, and myself too.
Is there anything that you dislike about face painting world?
Disliking, I wouldn't say maybe disliking, but there are things that I would have loved to have an impact to help it grow. I can still feel that it's a community which is quite small, despite it is, yes, spread all over the world. But there are many areas in the world where people don't have access to proper information. They don't have access to proper tools. And that generates lots of sorts of bad habits in face painting. Like painting with acrylic paints or with gouache, or with other type of paints which are not suitable for skin generally. These kind of things, definitely they have to be addressed and solved. But the only way we can do it is just educating people, just showing them that there is a good alternative. So that's I think the only thing that bothers me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What are the common misconceptions that people have about the work that you do?
Yeah, well, many people think that it's something, like a hobby. I think, yeah, it's like, and what's your main job? You're you're painting when you're free, when you have your free time, but what you're doing in, like, what you're earning the money with. Even when I tell that I have a school, nobody understands how comprehensive it could be, because I myself didn't understand how comprehensive it would be. So yeah, this is the main thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, certainly in your career, you went to lots of different events. Do you have any funny stories from them?
Funny stories. Well, I don't know about funny stories, but I just had great experiences. For instance, once when I went to a workshop in Australia. I had a workshop tour, and Kate Matthews, she organized my tour back then. Well, we had a situation when she nearly dropped me at a wrong airport. I had to fly to a different airport, to a different city to give another workshop, because I had all my days planned. It was a very tight time planning, and she just said, okay, this is the airport, your plane is at this time, you have to go to the airport, to the building, and wait there. And I don't know why it happened. I just said, no, Kate, can you come in with me, just to double check, for just in case. So she came in with me. We were looking at the panels with the information, and we didn't see the flight. And she was like, why there is not, your flight is not there, why does it happen? And then she checked, oh no, it's a wrong airport. We have to go 30 minutes more to a different airport. So we hopped into the car. Great that we had time and we arrived in time. But, I just cannot imagine what would happen if I would have missed the flight, because I had no phone connection. It was Australia, I didn't have a phone number. I only had Wi-Fi, and I don't know if it was accessible there in the airport, if I could connect to it. How would I reach Kate if she would have left, and what I would have been doing? I have no idea. So luckily, it was solved.
Wow, that would be an experience.
Yeah.
What are the products that you could not live without?
Definitely a professional high quality white paint. I think you can do anything just having one brush and just very high quality white paint. All the rest is just extras, additions, because with line work you can already do so many things.
Yeah. Have you ever forgotten anything from your kit, and how did you deal with it, if you did?
Yes, it was a very funny story. When I went to a gig, it was a salon, do you say it? Yeah, it's like a makeup and hair salon. Not sure of the word. Well, I went there to face paint the chief of that property, of that venue. He had a birthday. He was an adult man of 50 years old. He has a birthday, and I was supposed to paint him as a lion, because his zodiac was a lion. So I picked up all of my stuff, came there, and realized that I've forgotten my brushes. And luckily they had makeup brushes there. So I just managed to do everything with some sponges and with their own makeup brushes. But it was just fate. I was just happy that they had it, because otherwise I would just couldn't realize it. If it was, a gig for kids, I would just haven't been able to do it.
Do you have your own way to organize your face painting kit, or you just don't have any particular idea?
Yeah. Yes, of course. I'm using a case which is from poker chips. It's an aluminum case.
Okay.
I've seen Deb Mills doing it, and I took this idea from her, but then I just customized it by myself. So I found those plastic inserts that are laying on the horizontal part of the case. I filled them in with paints, and then on the vertical side I have the brushes which are stuck into those spongy, like
is it something like
something.
this?
No,
like face painting cases. This ones.
It opens like this, but it's larger. It's almost twice longer, but it's a little bit more narrow than this, but a little bit more thicker.
Okay, so is it face painting kit? Or you found no? Okay.
It's a poker chips case. It's for pokers. Yeah, I just found it on Amazon and just customized it by myself. So I tried to find it now to see if it's available, but I couldn't find any empty ones. Back then when I bought it, there were empty ones that were selling. Now you can only buy ones that has the chips inside. So
Okay.
Definitely, the price will vary because I bought mine for about 30 euros, which was very affordable. It was, all my kit goes there because besides the paints that I have there, I also have a couple of pallets. The ones, that Sally Ann Lynch does, those pallets and the fishing boxes.
Yes.
Well, I have three of them, which are above my paints, and I also have a Lisa Griffith palette with powders, which is next to it. So I'm feeling two layers of paints, and then I have the brushes, and the only little things that is light but is voluminous that I'm carrying separately is the spray bottle, the sponges, and the brush tub, because I have a large one to rinse my brushes and to put my water in, and that's it. So it's basically a very small kit, which is very easy to carry on conventions. I specifically made it to be able to carry it with me anywhere I go without those big heavy kits, because I'm not using now that much stuff. I'm using the things that I like, the things that I need mostly, and in smaller quantities. I prefer to refill more frequently, but to have it all very portable with me rather than having all the stuff with me.
And what is your professional background? Well, do you have any
In
other?
art.
Yeah, you said it already, but just
Yeah.
I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah. Well, the medicine is not not a full background, I would say, because I only have 6 years of university, which had to finish with the internship where I could get my profession, and then I would have been a certified doctor. Right now, I only have my diploma that I graduated from the university. I don't have a specialization in any type of field, medical field. So it's like, not a finished background. And in art, I have never studied any specific art anywhere. Everything that I learned was by myself. It was just with observing and experimenting, and basically, I'm a very self-taught person.
Yeah, but when you learn, you spend all your time on it. You learn a lot, and sometimes it's more than being at university when somebody is not interested. Actually,
Yeah,
I know that because kind of similar. Yeah. What jobs have you done other than being an artist or a teacher? Let's say.
I haven't done like jobs that would have bring me money. This type of things I haven't done in my life. I think I didn't have that experience yet. Maybe I'll have some. But besides face painting, I have hobbies, things that interest me. I have been doing them, mostly for just because I like doing it. For instance, I really love cooking, and I really like teaching everybody around to cook, clearly. Especially what relates to healthy eating, to vegetarian, vegan eating. And yeah, well, if you consider this a job, a non-paid job, think that like little sessions, like workshops that we've done with friends, with acquaintances. This is what I've also done.
Do you like any particular type of cooking, like baking, salads, whatever, like any field?
Yeah, well, I would say not the type of the dish, but mostly what it contains. So for me, healthy cooking is the priority. So clearly, I will never fry anything unless, just little tiny things and with a little tiny amount of oil, just to add a little touch. But mostly, I will spend my time and invest my time in healthy and delicious dishes. So things that all of us always struggle to get, because this is the evolution how it made us. We always strive to eat unhealthy foods like a lot of sweet foods or fried foods or foods that are full of carbs or things that are melting in our mouth, that have that crust that is crusty on the outside, but chewy on the inside. But then these kind of things that are they're not quite natural to us because we need to chew. For instance, chewing is and crushing the food without teeth is essential. But then to make this salad really tasty, you need to add there something that would make it feel tasty. And this is, for instance, the types of sauces that you would add there, types of dressings, they will make a big change. So you would eat that healthy salad with that salsa, with that dressing, if it's done correctly, with much more, how do you say it? You'd enjoy it much more in this kind of combination rather than eating, just plain cabbage, just for the cabbage. So taking the things in aesthetically, the food should, besides it should be tasty, of course, it should aesthetically, it should have a nice appearance, because you have to admire it with your eyes first, and you have to like it, how it looks. So this is where composition from face painting comes.
Didn't you think about opening your own restaurant or a cafe?
No, not that type of thing, because this involves actually a lot of business skills, and it's not that much about creative cuisine. It's it's mostly about calculating the things, knowing exactly how much the product costs, what do you want to deliver to the customer, the amount, so the creativity part just goes away from it. It fades. So this is not the type of thing I want to do.
That's true. Do you have any other hobbies apart from that?
I think like just living a healthy lifestyle and everything that is related to it. Just cooking is just one part of it. Also, I'm really enjoying doing Pilates, and it's been my latest passion to include Pilates in my daily life. And we've also spoke with some of my face painter mates about how you could include those tips from Pilates during your face painting gigs. And they're actually things, you can definitely implement them, because Pilates is something that you can really apply into your daily life. It's not about going to the gym, having your equipment, having your clothes for doing it, sweating. It's not about it. You don't need any type of preparations. You just need your body. You won't even sweat if you're doing like correct body postures, postural exercises. And especially because when we are painting for a long time at gigs and our back starts to experience very painful moments, this is the things that we have to take care of the posture and understand what we are doing, how we are placing our body in space. And just a couple of simple tips, like the correct body posture, where when you have your pelvic bone a little bit placed to the forward so that your spine is more straight, because we often tend to go into lordosis to get our butt backwards, and that creates a little cracking movement on the spine, and usually on the back, lower back is the one that suffers the most. But only when you adjust your pelvis a little bit and you keep your spine straight, and when you bend, you do not bend from your spine, but you're bent with your spine straight, and the movement goes from the pelvis. Just imagine this is the pelvis. You're going with the pelvis backwards, then you just release all the tension from the back of your from your lower back, and you are training your core muscles, you're training your gluteus muscles, and obviously you can paint for many hours longer. I was experimenting with this lately, and I felt such a big difference when I started correcting my body posture while I was cooking, because it also involves standing a lot. And when I started doing it, and during walking also, I noticed such a huge difference. So I thought I'm gonna add this information into my course very soon. I just need
Mm,
my filming equipment done and a little area where I could film it,
yeah.
just to show how you could do it. Because it's only
I
about
heard. Yeah,
body
there
adjustment.
many face painters they suffer from
Yeah,
back pains. Yes.
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
try
yeah, yeah.
tomorrow. Tomorrow I paint for 4 hours. I'll try your tip.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Should definitely try it. It helped me a lot, because I have my how do you say it? My feet are plain. They don't have that curve. There
Oh
is
yeah, yeah, I know the flat feet or
flat
something.
feet,
Yeah,
I
I
think.
don't know
Yeah,
how you. Yes, I know what you mean though.
yeah. And I always suffered from back pain and from feet pain after walking for long distances. And for instance, 10,000 steps for me was already a challenge to walk. I mean, without doing any breaks. So
Mm-hmm.
you're walking for an hour and a half, 10,000 of steps. And by the end, I was feeling always exhausted. I always felt pain both in my feet, in my hips, in my lower back. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I just added this little trick with that pelvic bone and with my body posture adjustment, we went to Barcelona one day with my husband and we walked 17,000 steps in one go, and I felt no pain at all. I went back home full of energy and I couldn't believe myself because it was the first time in my life when I really felt no pain. But I was focused all of my day when I was walking that I had to keep my body posture correct. And it was just amazing. It's so amazing that such a tiny change and you can,
Interesting. Yeah.
change your whole state of your body. And obviously if you have more energy, you have more possibilities to do more,
Mm-hmm.
especially for body painting. I think it would be very also important for body painters who are painting long hours.
I know I'll use it in
Yeah,
next week
yeah.
in the festival. Yeah. Um, if you weren't in your profession, what would you do?
Well, I'm definitely passionate a lot about health, just like I said. So, nutrition is something that I would definitely do. And actually, I have just started investigating this question. I want to train myself to become a certified nutritionist, also healthcare nutritionist. Just because already own some background, some medical background, I have some knowledge. I have been cooking and adjusting my lifestyle and my healthy habits for more than 10 years now. So now I feel that it's the time to investigate this deeper. And I know there are many, many possibilities in nutrition to cure lots of diseases by only changing the lifestyle and the eating habits.
Mm-hmm.
So only these little adjustments could just solve lots of issues. And it's something that is really interesting to me. And I think this is going to be my second profession.
Yeah. What would you? How would your life change if you would have unlimited amount of money?
Ah, I think it would impact me in a bad way, definitely. I think just like with many other people, just because, when you have access to everything, it doesn't give you happiness. It just gives you that dopamine explosion, which is really hard to overcome to not to overcome. There is a different word, I think. It's very difficult to compete with this level of dopamine explosion in the future. When something like this happens to you in your life and you get a very, very bright experience, uh, in the following years, you you expect something similar to happen to you, to experience the same emotions, which is really hard to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened to me when not I didn't win a lottery. I haven't become super super rich. I didn't. But I had a very big success in the very beginning of my career, which was very explosive, unpredictable, and it had a big impact on my nervous system, definitely, which I now understand it was not that beneficial for me. It definitely gave me the right lessons, but it wasn't beneficial in the terms that um, it's like a roller coaster, I was on a hill, but when you go down, it's very hard when you're
Mhm,
dropping
mhm,
down.
mhm,
And to lift afterwards, you're always trying to achieve the same emotions that you got when you were on the peak, and it's
mhm, mhm,
difficult. So
mhm,
that was a big lesson for me, that success and high peaks um, is not what you have to strive for. It's not. It
mhm,
shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be a different one: to accept all things that happen in your life, uh, just like something that happens, without giving it so much attention and so much energy. It could be a bad thing or a good thing, both. If you are diving into it very deep, and if you are identifying yourself with either success or either disappointment, you suffer a lot from both, because
mhm,
everything changes in your life, and it's just impossible to stay fixed in a certain point. If you are high now, tomorrow you will be low, and if you are taking it so personally,
yeah,
it's going to be hard.
that's
So
true.
if that would happen to me, that I would have lots of money, I would prefer to give it away, I think, or give it to people who really need it, or invest it in something that would not impact myself, my own. So I would definitely not go and buy myself, a big house, a luxurious car, or sponsor all of my family life for the lifetime, because I know this is not what would bring them happiness. This is not something that would bring me happiness. But there are
Mhm,
really situations and people who would really need that at least little amount of money to really help them and achieve what they want. But it should always be, a certain dose.
mhm,
Because if you
mhm,
overcome this dose, it can become too much. It's
mhm,
too much.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. What person, dead or alive, would you like to meet for dinner?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I was reading it in your in the questions of the interview. I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. I don't have, it's interesting, but I don't have a person that I admire. I don't have a specific person that I really like to meet, but I cannot manage to do it. I think I'm just happy with what I have. I have so many
Okay, yeah.
nice people in my life. I have my husband, who is a great motivator for me. Is a great partner who inspires me a lot, and I also have my mother-in-law, who's also, she's just a big inspiration for me as a personality too, and my parents also, and I have friends that inspire me every single day. So I'm just happy with what I have.
Okay, okay. What is the last great book that you can advise that you read?
I really enjoyed reading Bruce Lipton's Biology of Belief.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very interesting book because it's both about something about health, not that much probably about health, but mostly about how our beliefs impact our reality. It was a very interesting discovery of spiritual side of the world, but through science, through a scientific approach. Because
Mm,
I came from more, scientific type of background, learning
yeah.
medicine. Everything should be based on scientific research. You just couldn't say, I
Mm-hmm.
have an experience, I've cured 100 patients, I have an experience, and it worked. No, you couldn't do it like this. You just had to do a good scientific study, and to prove it, and to have all
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
steps. So to me, it was a little bit hard being raised in a family where nobody believes in God. Nobody ever brought me to church. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was never into that spiritual side of the world. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I experienced that, drop after the very high, after the, well, that I confessed in the previous
Uh-huh.
answer. I had to change my beliefs. I had to approach my life with a different manner, with a different type of understanding. So that book really came in at the very right time for me, because it explained a lot of the things, um, how it works in the world, how it works in our body, how it works generally in our universe, and with scientific proofs, because it's a book written by a scientist who examined cells, and he came up to conclusions that cells are not competing, that they are working together, and that this type of relationship is actually not only inside our bodies, that is also within our communities. So there is no competition thing. That it's a different type of viewing the life. And after I read that book, actually I felt very relieved, because before that I was trained to be the best one. I was always one of the best, and when I graduated from the university, I wasn't one of the best. I was in the first 10 from 500 people. uh, and but it was always my goal was always to be the first one to compete. And it generated so much anxiety, so much disappointment when I couldn't achieve what I wanted to achieve, that when I started to look at life from this different perspective, of non-competing, but simply enjoying what you do, just loving what you do, and appreciating the things that come into your life, it just became to live so much easier. And this is the thing that I try to teach my students also, because we all have it in our human nature. We live in this society, especially this Western society teaches us to be competitive, to be the best. You have to overcome all the competitors to become, the leader. But when you do it, you forget about the joy of the
Yes.
process that you are in. And actually, it doesn't really matter if you're the first or the second or the third. Who cares? If
Yeah,
you're,
yeah, true. Yeah.
yeah, if you're not
Nobody
enjoying
cares.
what
Yes.
yeah, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's, in the end, it's your life. It's about your own way of attitude for what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you treat it with more love for yourself, and just simply living the life with embracing all its beauty and all its hard moments too, just getting it as a life lesson, and moving on, I think it's the key. It's the
Yeah,
key.
that's true. Yeah. What was your childhood like? Did you have any particular memories that associated with childhood?
I have a very good childhood. I've been raised a very lovely family with great relationship between my parents. Both very caring, and I was doing everything that I wanted to do. They supported me in every single decision that I made, even when I said, I want to leave medicine, although I was dreaming of becoming a doctor for nearly 20 years. And they said, okay, it's your decision. Yeah, we really understand that it's not what you expected it to be. So we really see that you adore face painting. Go for it. You don't want to do it, just go for it. And that's it. They never ever told me anything like, no, you have to go and chase your dream. If you wanted to be a doctor, go and finish it, despite it hard. No.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. That's very good.
So
Yeah. Yeah. You don't often meet that. Well, not always.
yeah, I know that I have been a really lucky child. I am a lucky person to have had such a lucky childhood, actually.
Mm.
Really.
Is there any movie that you can watch over and over, or
No, I
that
don't.
made, or maybe that made impact on you, something that struck you?
Not that much. No, I don't think that I'm a very, movie person. I've watched lots of movies in the past. Yeah, many of them had emotional impacts on me. But To be honest, right now I'm not investing my time that much in watching movies, just because I think that it's a little bit of a waste of a time for myself. I think because it's just another type of distracting myself from life, distracting myself from what I really feel, what I experience.
Mm-hmm,
And to me, this is much more important because this is another type of attraction, just like eating
mm-hmm,
junk food or spending the night,
mm-hmm,
by watching a movie. It's like a method of forgetting about who you are, who you truly are, because you're diving in deeply into the story of the movie, and you are kind of forgetting about that you have a real life to live.
yeah, yeah.
But so for many people, it's just a way of escaping from their own life. So to me,
Mm-hmm.
watching this type like movies, I mean the non-documentarist movies, it's something that I haven't done for a long time. Documentaries, I really like
Okay.
documentaries or the movies that are based on real stories.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
These I really like,
I
but
see.
there is nothing specific that I could
Okay.
call.
And if, although you're not saying that you're not really watching movies, would there be any fictional character that you would be identifying with?
Um, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
That's fine. Okay. If you would compare yourself to an animal, who would you be?
When I was a child, I was always imagining myself as a horse, and now my baby girl is just a horse admirer. She just loves everything about horses, unicorns, ponies. Well, like many girls, of course. But then I was a lover, horse lover, and I was imagining myself just running like my mane and my tail are floating in the wind, and I'm just running into the wild. I still have that experience, like that feeling that I'm a free horse running into the wild through my life. I think this would be like yeah, the animal that would associate with me the
Mhm.
most.
Cool, cool. What's your favorite or most inspirational place?
Barcelona, definitely.
Hmm.
It's
Okay.
a city full of art,
Yeah.
full of exciting, amazing, unique architecture. Definitely.
Okay. The next question is similar. So maybe it will be the same answer or maybe something else. What's international art destination you most want to visit or visited?
International what?
Art
International?
destination.
Our destination. Well, Barcelona. Well,
So,
definitely.
okay.
It's something.
What are some unusual places that you've been?
Something that was very exciting for me is going to the coral reef, which is in how do you? It's Cairns is the city, and it's more equatorial, so more northern Australia. There is the coral reef, which is very near to that region. And I went on a seaboat to an excursion, and I was snorkeling there. And I've seen so many exciting things that I have never imagined that I would have this experience in my life, to see lots of colorful fishes and turtles and little sharks, not the big ones, but sharks that are eating fish, not human. uh, and corals and stuff. It was one of the most unusual and amazing places that I've visited.
What do you do on your spare time?
Usually Pilates and cooking, and when it's spare time with my daughter, then usually we go to meet some other friends, where I could spend the time with mom's friends and she could play
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
Okay. Where do you get your news? Do you get your news?
I don't watch the news.
Okay. If you would start your face painting career again, what would you do differently?
Nothing. I really like the journey that I went through. I think every single step was a very great lesson for me. So
Mhm.
it was just perfect.
Okay. Okay. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Не поняла?
Uh, where, where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Ага. Well, hopefully, it's I want to be full of energy, to wake up early in the morning, just like I do it now, to have all the motivation and all the energy, skills, power to do everything that I adore, which is basically what I do now, which is both instructing, painting, cooking,
Mhm.
um, having a very active lifestyle, traveling, and I'm not the type of person who sits on the sofa watching TV in the evening. I usually do things, always
Mhm.
moving a lot, hiking, exploring places. I really would love to get back to traveling more, to going more to conventions and workshops, which was on a big pause due to
COVID.
the
Yeah.
pandemic situation. So hopefully we're gonna forget about it soon, and we're gonna have the opportunity to go and travel a bit more, because there are many different places where I would love
Mhm.
to go to. So
Do you
yeah.
do you have a dream project?
Well, I think that school actually became my dream project. I would really love to expand it more, to grow it
Mhm.
more. I would really love to work with more people, with more instructors, and to create more interesting um, courses and teaching content with these cool instructors from our industry. I would really like to help both people in our industry to take advantage from professional and high quality teaching content, and both give the possibility to the instructors to deliver it to the community and get paid for it well. So I think that this is the way where our industry is moving into, and I
Mhm.
really want to manage and work in this direction.
Mhm. Mhm. What do you think your main skills that help you to work as a face painter? Not artistic skills, I mean.
Not artistic skills. Well, I think medical skills definitely help me, because I understood the thing about safety and allergy and all everything that is related to it very easily. So
Mhm.
I could work in this domain without fear of getting any
Mhm.
making anyone sick, or if I saw an allergic reaction, it just didn't frighten me, because I understood that things like this could happen, and I knew how to approach the situation.
Mhm.
And anatomy also, that helped me understand the facial features, and especially when you create all those creepy stuff,
Mhm.
muscles and things, especially on monsters, where you have to emphasize all those um, prominent parts of the skeleton of the
Mhm.
face.
Mhm.
You have to understand how it works. So this,
I see.
again, this helped me. Mhm.
Okay, and we have the last question.
Perfect.
What advice would you give someone who would like to break into this career?
Doing it with a lot of passion and simply enjoying the process without setting any goals like overcoming somebody or proving something to somebody or doing it for money. I think that when you set this type of goals, it will never lead you to success. And if you are simply doing it because you are enjoying it, this is the key. Then life can give you all that it has for you, but you really have to treat both yourself and life with
Mhm.
joy,
Mhm.
with love, with compassion. Yeah,
I see.
I
Okay,
think.
thank you very much for this interview. I really, really enjoyed chatting to you and hearing all about you. And I'm pretty sure we'll meet again at some
Yeah,
point somewhere at one of the events.
yeah,
So looking forward to it. Thanks.
yeah. Thank you so much again also for inviting me. It was really fun to speak about all of that life adventure and in the face painting world and some other extras.
Yeah.
I do not speak often about it, but it was really fun remembering all those little moments, especially when I just began. I nearly forgot about all those emotions and
Yeah.
funny moments, but then it's a really, really lovely really lovely memories that I still cherish. And thank you for this opportunity to have me to experience them again, because it was really pleasant. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. Have a lovely day.